first time I went into Mosul, I was driving through East Mosul, and then as we crossed the bridge into West Mosul, it took my breath away. The amount of devastation. I've visited many post-conflict environments, ranging from Afghanistan into the Balkans, throughout Africa, and I don't think I've ever seen a part of a city that was so pulverized. It was very reminiscent of images of the Second World War, of Stalingrad, of Hamburg, Coventry, completely blown apart. Mosul is a city in northern Iraq. It lies between Erbil and the Syrian border, and when ISIS was at the peak of its control, there were over 2 million people living in Mosul. It was the biggest city under ISIS control. As the city was surrounded, they fell back into defensive positions. They'd had 2 years to prepare these, and the majority of these were in the old city, so West Mosul, on the banks of the river. And these buildings had been booby-trapped, they'd been rigged with explosives, they had caches of ammunition and weapons for the fighters to use. The fighters were wearing suicide vests and prepared to fight to the end, and the coalition forces dropped a lot of ordnance on them. And so the explosive hazard and the explosive contamination in Mosul is unlike really anything I've seen before. So you would have buildings were collapsed in on bodies. Some of the buildings had been booby-trapped or rigged with explosives to stop people returning home. And then there was the unexploded ordnance from just the actual fighting. When you look at that level of devastation, people just can't get back to their homes. They're finding it very difficult. The fridge might have been booby-trapped, so if you open the fridge door, it goes off, or a light switch gets flicked and there's a bomb waiting for you. On top of the different explosive hazards, a lot of the buildings are very unstable. So if when the teams are clearing, they were to move the wrong piece of rubble, the whole building could collapse on them. So it's just a really difficult and challenging environment. So people will continue to not be able to return to their homes or rebuild their homes until the explosive hazard has been cleared. The actual searchers, the guys who are doing a lot of the grunt work, who are on the ground on their hands and knees, they're Iraqis. They're the real unsung heroes. Going out and finding out where items are. Often items are brought in by people who found them in their homes or found them in their gardens, and they bring them to our team sites, and then our teams work to destroy these items. But also then looking at some of the new technology like drones, and being able to put a drone over a site and look to see what the potential hazard is, and seeing things from different perspectives, and looking at, are there obvious threats? Can we see an explosive device that is visible? Can we see indicators that an explosive device might have been laid? Can we look at different avenues of approach to be able to see where we can provide the most benefit? And if you want people to go home, you have to create an environment that they feel safe. And that's not just their home being removed of explosive hazards, but it's allowing them to have access to clean water, to electricity, for the schools to be cleared so that their children can go back to school, so that health posts can be cleared so they can be refurbished, so that hospitals are safe, so that the doctors can start having procedures and surgery. And a lot of the work we've been doing has been working to ensure that we prioritise the tasking we do that has the most impact. So if we clear a water treatment plant that's going to provide 250,000 people a day with clean water, or we clear a bridge so it can be repaired and 1,000 vehicles an hour can cross it, what will give the most impact? What will give us real value add to the work we do? And it was incredible when I was in Mosul to see how quickly families would go back into the rubble of West Mosul and relay their foundations and start building their homes again. I mean, it's really incredible to see how proud they are and how they want to get on with their lives. They've gone through a terrible conflict, and they're showing a resilience that is very inspirational. And we can help them by removing the explosive hazards, and people can feel confident and they can start getting on with their lives.